Hello guys. So today I'm sitting in Microsoft's Flight Simulator, and as you know I don't have many videos, which is basically because my system can't run it properly. But there is a new update which addresses the avionics and the autopilot, and I just want to see if the autopilot finally works, which is why we are in the default 7478. Alright, I'm at the runway to speed up things, and let's go through the FMC to see what is left to do. Cruising altitude is 15,000 feet. Execute cost index, let's make it 200. I'm gonna leave it as it is. Flaps are already set to 10, so I'm gonna pick flaps 10. Confirm the V speeds. Trim setting is 7.5. I'm gonna set V2 here. And ATC wants us to climb to 10,000 feet, so that's alright. Arm LNAV and VNAV. I'm not sure where I can grab the altimeter here. Anyway, we're gonna be fine. Gonna have a look at the route, because sometimes there are strange issues, like here. Okay. How about that? That looks a bit better. That looks a bit better indeed. So let's have a... Aha. Alright. Okay, so... there are still issues with the route that you choose on the map not translating correctly into the FMC, but okay, you can fix that from the FMC. Now let's give it a go, releasing the parking brake. Oh, and even toga works. First thing I notice is that the flight director is working, the pitch flight director. It's pitching up. Tell me where to pitch.
Logic Autopilot, contact Athens Center on 135.875. Good day.
135.875 for Logic Autopilot. Athens Center Logic Autopilot is passing 2,000 feet, climbing 10,000 feet.
Logic Autopilot Athens Center QNH 29.88, continue as planned.
Alright, so the takeoff was pretty much spot on, I think. Yes, we had reached 1,500 feet above ground level. The thrust would switch over to climb thrust, and VNAV would bug up speed. And it's bugging up for 210 knots just because there is a speed restriction. So that's all fine. And I've already retracted the flaps to flaps 5. Okay. APU running. APU generator, why is that? Where's the APU? I hope we're fine. Now let's see if flight level change is working, because VNAV speed is. But look at that. The thrust doesn't go idle like before. I could switch between VNAV speed and flight level change without any negative effect. So we have passed the waypoint with the speed restriction of 210 knots, and there's another speed restriction of 230 knots. And I can go flaps 1. By the way, the QNH is...
Logic Autopilot climb and maintain 15,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
Climb and maintain 15,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Logic Autopilot.
So that also works like expected. VNAV has leveled off because we have set that altitude, and now I was cleared to climb to the cruising altitude of 15,000 feet. Push the button. And we're back on VNAV speed. Thrust is increasing. Works like expected. Nice. Not sure how to get rid of this message here. I'm gonna leave it as it is before I break something here, because I want to check the autopilot and the avionics. Maybe I can have a look at the FMC. What do we have here? Let's pick a landing config already. Looks all pretty good, I have to say. Oh, does that work? Let's see. Seems like it does. Nice. progress page. So far I'm quite convinced. It's quite detailed and until now everything works as expected. Still have to climb a bit, but as VNAV has just bucked up speed, the plane is not climbing and instead using thrust to accelerate, and now we should start climbing in. So very good behavior of flight level change. So flight level VNAV speed and flight level change is basically the same thing, just that VNAV speed uses the internal speeds of the FMC. Now we're at VNAV path. Wow, everything as expected. So to me it seems that the autopilot has become a whole new thing. That's not the mod from Salty, it's really the default 747. And now we are in cruise, and it shows me the distance to the top of descent.
Logic Autopilot descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet Logic Autopilot.
So as expected, ATC wants us to already start our descent, and we can try. Let's see. I could try to use descent now. Why not? Execute. So VNAV is now descending with VNAV speed, which is basically the same as flight level change, as I just said. I've set everything to low.
Logic Autopilot, you are 42 miles southeast. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS Zulu runway 03, left approach by a Kilo Echo Alpha transition. Cleared to Kilo Echo Alpha.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS Zulu runway 03 left approach via Kilo Echo Alpha transition. Cleared to Kilo Echo Alpha Logic Autopilot.
Alright, so we are cleared to descend down to 5,000 feet, and look at that. Look at that. That's exactly what I think should happen. Because we're flying faster than our target speed. The plane is actually holding the altitude until we have decelerated. And then when we have reached our new target speed, which I have just set, the descent will be resumed.
Logic Autopilot, please expedite your descent 5,000 feet.
And ATC noticed that I have just leveled off. and tells me, come on, hurry up.
Logic Autopilot descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet Logic Autopilot.
But there is something strange though, which is that the thrust isn't idle. So I've just switched over to flight level change.
Logic Autopilot contact approach on 132.975. Good day.
To make sure we really descend.
132.975 Logic Autopilot. Approach Logic Autopilot is at 11,200 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Logic Autopilot approach QNH 29.89er. Continue as planned. Logic Autopilot contact Athens Center on 135.875. Good day.
135.875 for Logic Autopilot. Athens Center Logic Autopilot is at 10,400 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Logic Autopilot Athens Center QNH 29.89er. Continue as planned.
Let's make
Logic
it auto brake.
Autopilot contact approach on 132.975. Good day.
132.975 for Logic Autopilot. Approach Logic Autopilot is at 9,300 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Logic Autopilot approach QNH 29.89er. Continue as planned.
Man, there's so much communication going on. I have to say I really like the default ATC. I think it's pretty solid. I think I'll switch over to vertical speed and slow down the descent a bit. Because we still have 40 nautical miles to go. By the way, how do I arm? Wait, I set myself a shortcut. Okay. Finally, I got that to work. There is a sharp turn, and I don't want to end up too fast on my approach, because this heavy plane is not so easy to slow down. So the wind has a good direction for landing. We're basically landing into the wind as it's supposed to be. Let's take a look outside here. Is there a cabin? Don't think so. I feel like the autopilot after the recent update is well, you can compare it to the autopilot from X-Plane, from the default 747. It's better than that. I think it's also more solid than the mod from Sparky. I think it's also better than the SSG. And it looks like the avionics and the FMC is even more detailed than the 747 from Aerofly, which is a pretty good plane. Alright, so speed brake is armed, auto brake set to 3. Landing speed is going to be 160 knots. I'll make it flaps 5. Just to have a bit of a safe zone here. Because I don't want to stall the plane. And it looks like the ILS is already tuned in, frequency and course. Look at that. I could switch to heading select and still have the localizer stay armed. That's nice. Feels like the whole thing had been reworked. The only thing I've noticed so far is that during VNAV descent, the thrust wouldn't go idle when descending with VNAV speed, but I'm not sure. Maybe even that's realistic. So I've just turned a bit to the left to intercept the localizer a bit earlier. So the landing lights are still on. And there is Greece mainland. Localizer has been captured. So I can arm the glide slope as well. It's hard for me to land the plane because the performance is so weak, so the landing is likely to get a bit rough. because as you can see I'm not getting many frames here. But at least it's not stuttering so far. So I'm still having fun, I have to say. Glide slope should come down in a second. And I will reduce speed now. And go flaps 10. The displays look very detailed. Pretty much like the real thing.
Logic Autopilot, you are 14 miles southwest of Eleftherios Venizelos. Contact tower on 122.1 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on 122.1 Logic Autopilot. Tower Logic Autopilot, 13 miles southwest inbound ILS Zulu runway 03 left approach.
Logic Autopilot Tower. QNH 29.89 when 035 at 15. Cleared ILS Zulu runway 03 left approach.
Cleared ILS Zulu runway 03 left approach Logic Autopilot.
So we have been cleared for the approach. The glide slope is coming down. I've set myself some minimums just for the sake of the procedure. Glide slope has been captured. I'll set myself a missed approach altitude. Gonna go gear down. And flaps full. Set the speed down to 160 because I want to be stable. Now let's see if my throttle actually works, because unfortunately it only works. Yeah, it doesn't work unless I use the yoke at the same time. But let's just do some hand flying and then it should work.
Logic Autopilot when 035 at 15. Cleared to land runway 03 left.
Cleared to land runway 03 left Logic Autopilot.
Speed seems to be kind of stable. I can hardly distinguish the runway from the scenery because of my bad graphic settings, or low graphic settings I should say.
500 minimums. 400 300 200
So the performance really is too weak for the landing actually, but anyway, I'm gonna try my best here.
100
my reverses don't work. It's a mess.
10,
It's really a shame that the hardware support is so, I don't know. In the settings it works, and then in the plane it doesn't.
Logic Autopilot turn next taxiway.
So anyway, I hope I could give you an impression. I think the update has been great. At least with regard to the avionics and the autopilot. It's a whole other thing. Basically everything has worked as expected. And I had fun flying the plane until I tried to land it.
Logic Autopilot turn next taxiway.
Thanks for watching and goodbye.